Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here today, Secretary Vilsack. There are many rural areas in the country that are very dependent on the timber industry for their economic sustainability and growth, including my district, which covers northern Michigan. I've got 3 large federal forests in my district. What changes are being advocated by the department that would encourage the Forest Service to focus on growing the timber harvest, enhancing mineral development, and offering additional recreational opportunities on federal forest land?
Well, there's several things, Congressman. First of all, we are each and every year attempting to treat more wood so that we create more opportunities for timber industry. Last year it was close to 2.8 billion board feet. I think the goal here is close to 3 billion board feet this year. Secondly, we are focusing on wood energy opportunities. There are over 230 wood energy projects that the department has funded. We've looked at a way of streamlining the NEPA process so that we can get work done more quickly, and that's some of the areas that have been designated as a result of the Farm Bill. We've created a new wood to energy, a wood contest that's taking a look at cross-laminated timber to create a new industry that doesn't exist in this country that would allow wood to be used as structural materials in multi-story buildings. The contest is essentially challenging someone to come up and actually build a multi-story building.
Well, that's very admirable. But I think, to tell you the truth, Secretary Vilsack, in my experience, it's very difficult to get the timber out of the woods. You know, in the last 5 years, the 3 national forests in Michigan, all of which are in my districts, have just sold over 49% of their ASQ. So what can we do to, what's preventing you from getting a higher percentage of the ASQ out of the forest?
Part of the challenge is the budget. And the reason it's a challenge is because 40% of our budget is spent on fire suppression. That's up 15 years ago, it was about 15%. And so what happens is we cannot do the kind of work that we'd like to be able to do because we have to borrow from the restoration resiliency funds to put fires out. That's
well, and this is the answer I've get from you guys a lot, and that is, in the private sector, when you cut down trees in your forest, you make money, and you produce money, and actually, in the federal forests in our areas, part of the income from the federal forest goes to local schools and for industry, like you're talking about the timber industry and this structural timber stuff, and that's all well and good, but the real problem is we have difficulty getting the timber out of the forest, and a lot of it's due to the fact that to get timber out of the forest, it costs the federal government a lot more than it costs the average person on the state forest or on private forest. And when you keep asking for more budget, it doesn't make any sense to me because states and private industry, they make money when they cut trees down. And you're supposed to be the steward of America's resource, the American forest, which belongs to the American people. And you should be able to find a way to harvest these resources, manage these resources that provide a return for the American people, not asking for more budget. So tell me a way we can make that more efficient.
Congressman, we're not asking for more money. We're asking it to be structured and budgeted in a slightly different way. It's not more money. It's coming. Essentially, we'd like some of these catastrophic fires to be treated as disasters that they are and funded out of that source. That would free up the resources.
Well, Mr. Vilsack, let me tell you this. If you could give me some guidance on how to direct this committee to change the law that would allow the Forest Service to be more efficient in managing the federal forest, I will be right there to make that happen. Because I have been looking for some ideas to make the Forest Service more efficient and not cost so much to manage their forests. And I would look for your and anyone else's input as to how to make that happen.
Well, we've created a lot of efficiencies. I'm happy to sit down with you and talk about the efficiencies that we've had to create because our budget is less than it was when I first became secretary.
I got time for maybe one more question here. When you submitted your budget last year, you requested a budget increase of $50 million and estimated that you'd harvest 3.1 billion board feet, but you didn't get to that. Why weren't you able to achieve your original goal?
gets back to the point I tried to make to you, sir, that when we have to borrow money from the restoration and resiliency portions of the budget because Congress doesn't provide the resources to fight fires, adequate resources to fight fires, it basically enables us, it creates a situation where we can't contract for the work that you'd like us to do because we don't have the resources. Congress repays the fund the following year, but there's never the stability. That's why it's important to treat these catastrophic fires as the catastrophes they are, fund that out of the emergency fund. That frees up resources and provides stability that would allow us to do a lot more work. We've been asking for this for a couple of years. That's the answer.
Jim's time's expired.
A lot of time.